All right.
Future Chester, don't cut that out.
Oh, you recording?
Yeah.
Hello, good people.
Hello.
Say hello, Allison.
Hello. Hey, how are ya?
The producer's in the building, y'all.
Hey.
This is Reasons to Talk, presented by Reasons to Win Creative Studio on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. Yes. And reasonswin.com. And also presented by what?
Central Triad Church.
Where we transform lives
Produce believers.
and impact the world. Get that app.
It's never gonna let me say it.
Oh, I'm sorry. You put to say it.
It would have been cute
Say
if you would have
impact.
said and then
Let's do it again. Where we transform lives.
Produce believers.
and impact the world.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm still going to leave all of it in. But yes, we are here today with our lovely guest that I love to have. And she's always here. And she, I just love this lady. This is Allison. I'm still can't say her name right. Allison. Hold on. Let me come back. Hold on. Allison. Oh
Dear.
It's a mouthful.
say it. Whisper it. Don't
Whisper
say
it?
Yeah, whisper it. Allison Della Vecchia.
Good job.
Ooh, I nailed it.
Pastor Chester.
I nailed it. I gotta get right for Dream Team thing.
That's right. That's right.
But yes, we have her here today. We're gonna have a nice little topic that I'm gonna have my wife explain. But make sure y'all comment, bless that like button, bless that share button. Just bless this whole thing. Pray for us, all right? Go ahead, babe.
All right,
What we
so
talking about today?
basically, we came across this article from theknot.com, and I know this is a wedding planning site because my sister used this, and they had this really interesting article that is called 5 Conversations You Need to Have Before Getting Married. So
And
that's
we're
what
gonna compare. We're gonna talk about our experiences.
Yes.
With it, and what we talked about. And of course, we all three of us have been divorced.
Yes.
We have.
Yeah, we have.
We have.
It happened.
It did.
Yes, it did. Yes.
Anyway, you want to go down the list?
Yes, let's go down the list. So the first one is having and raising kids.
No order. This is not in order.
Right, it's not in any specific order. Number 2 is money in your careers, and we're going to include prenups in that one as well. Number 3 is religion and values.
That should be number 1, but go ahead.
Number 4, how will you handle fights? Are we fighting fair? I don't know. And number 5, deal breakers and bucket lists.
Let's go and start to the beginning. Let's
All
do it.
right.
Having and raising kids. So when me and you met each other, we was talking.
Yep.
And we had our first conversation. We gave out expectations.
We did.
To me, everything that we're talking about today is about expectations.
Yeah.
And why not have expectations? People that we talk to, that we try to counsel, some of it is hard for me to hold you accountable if I never tell you what I expected. So we're like, I can't believe you did this. I didn't know this was an issue. I'll give you an example. The guy didn't think pornography was an issue. Thought it was normal. Guys do it. And the wife, heck no.
Right.
And so this happened. Now it's a big old thing. She looking at it. He cheating. He da 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 da. Which that's what Jesus said. You look upon a woman with lustful thoughts. You are committing adultery. And the thing is that we don't have these expectations. We don't talk about these things. We have an issue.
Yeah.
And some people think or try to hide the issue. You can see it.
Right.
When we all got married, we saw some of these issues. Right. I'm pretty sure they saw issues in us too,
Yeah.
but we never addressed them. We thought
Right.
when we get married, everything is gonna be all right. I'm a real boy. But that's what we thought.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm gonna tell y'all people, I'm gonna get a little closer to the mic, that is not true. When you get married, you're just gonna have bigger problems because you're married. Period.
That's right.
Not gonna go away, So what are we talking about today, right now? What's the first one?
Having and raising kids.
All right.
All right.
We're gonna jump in on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a huge topic, and it seems kind of funny to think that you would marry somebody and not have a discussion about Are you going to have kids? Are you not going to have kids? Are you just going to see what happens? But there are people who don't talk about that.
Yeah.
'Cause I think they assuming. Because you're saying some people assume that
Yeah, that
they
everyone
agree.
wants to have a kid.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Or
that's
everyone,
not-
or now's not the time, and we'll think about it 20 years from now or whatever.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And then when the other part is raising,
Yeah.
how is going to raise the kid?
Right.
That's something that people don't think needs to be talked about. But oh my goodness, that is such a big issue.
Do you have any
spank?
issues
Do
with
you
that?
not spank?
Oh yeah, that.
I mean, that's a big
I
issue.
believe in laying the hands.
And some people just don't believe in that at all. So you have to iron that stuff out. What are you going to do for punishments? What are you going to
Yes,
do? You know,
it's a lot to
Yes,
think about.
yeah.
It's a big conversation to have.
But then also it's just other things. Like I remember having conflicts when I was first married with my mother-in-law because certain ways that I was caring for the baby were not okay with her, and that was a conflict. It wasn't a conflict with my ex-husband and I, but with his mother-in-law. She had certain expectations on how children should be raised and how babies should be raised and how they should be bathed and what kind of diapers you should buy, just whatever.
And just to clarify, it should have been between you and your.
It should have been. You're absolutely correct. There was definitely some issues there, but my ex-husband and I we got through that just fine. But it made me realize that these are things that
Have some
what if he had those issues too, and we just didn't talk about it? Like, you know,
Did you before you got married the first time? One more time. But did y'all have counseling? Before?
no. Oh heck no. We didn't do any counseling.
I had. Do you have counseling on your first?
No.
Okay. I had counseling, but it wasn't counseling.
Oh.
Because it was. I hope she can forgive me about this. When we was talking, her pastor back home did our counseling, and one time I became truthful. She was like, "Don't be truthful, because he would not marry us." And so we hid things from him. I apologize, Pastor.
Oh gosh.
But that's good. We were both young.
Yeah.
And we made some silly decisions.
Yeah.
Because some of that stuff probably could have saved us a lot of time and hurt. But
That's right. That's
it is what
right,
it is.
yeah.
So don't just let everybody know that when you have those counseling, it's okay. You should get counseling. You should have some kind of conversation, because what it do is sparks these conversations that we
Yes.
didn't think about, because we're so wrapped up in love that we don't think about these conversations that you should have. So having and raising kids, me and you, we kind of disagree on how to discipline
Yeah, we
kids
did.
at one point,
We did.
and we found a median. You
Yeah.
know. And it helped me realize that I don't need to spank on everything. I didn't kill my kids, all right? But I didn't have to spank on everything, and make sure I explain
Yes.
better. I thought I did, but I make sure we explain
Yes.
even better than what I was doing, because, but the thing is to not get defensive. I
Right.
didn't never get defensive because you felt
It
that
was-
way. You didn't
yeah,
feel defensive.
It was a learning process.
Yes, and we had conversations. And that's one thing that we talked about. We were going to fight later, but we expected to have conversations, not argue
Right.
about every single thing.
Right.
It was just having, this is a topic today. That's how corny we was, but
It
on
works.
certain days we said, this is our topic today. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
But make sure you talk about having kids, because you will be in the world. I know people that want kids and they never had kids because the other person didn't want kids.
Right.
They settled up.
Yep.
But trust me, they went through something
Yeah.
between that. So
Yeah.
make sure we I'll tell you, looking at somebody. But make sure y'all have those conversations. What's the next one?
Next one is money and your careers. We're going to touch a little bit about prenups as well.
Oh, yeah,
this
because I was talking to the producer about some of this stuff, and she had a nice little take on it and stuff like that. Money, you want to start off?
Yeah, money. That is a hot button topic.
Yes.
Oh
That's
my
one
goodness.
of the top 5 reasons
It's
people
like-
get divorced.
Yes.
And let me tell you, it's for real. Like it really is a reason for people getting divorced, because certain people are savers, certain people are spenders, and if you get a saver and a spender together, trying to manage
Yeah.
finances, I mean, it's difficult. It's not impossible. Nothing's impossible, right? But
Right.
it's difficult. You have to go in there with some expectations and with some
Right.
boundaries, and everybody understands this is how this is going to go, and whatever. But my gosh.
And make sure that y'all don't have these conversations you can't really get upset at the other person spending or the
Right.
other person that's very, what's that word?
Saver.
Yeah, saver.
Yeah, savor.
And sometimes it should work out hand in hand, because sometimes I believe we can save to a point where we don't enjoy ourselves at all.
Right. It's good to have someone that has that balance,
Yeah.
so y'all can communicate to have
Right.
that balance.
Right.
And I think in every marriage there should be one person that not controls it, but manage the money together. I'm not a big advocate of everybody having their own separate accounts. I believe you have one account, and of course you can have your separate account, but it's me and Candace does what's it?
So we have like our little allowance, if you
Allowance,
will.
that's it. Every month we can have our own
So
allowance.
all the bills get paid. You know, all the money goes in one pot. All the bills get paid, and then we have an allowance set so that he doesn't really know what I'm spending my money on, but I have my money in my account. He has his money in his account, and we don't really have to worry about no one touching the pot of money.
But when we do what we do.
But yeah, if we need to, we definitely talk about it beforehand.
Shoot me a text like, hey, especially in our business now.
Right.
Yeah, that's a separate account when we're trying to get expenses, and we always talk to each other.
Yes.
Had conversations. Some people like, that's my money. Because sometimes you have somebody that make more money than the other person, stuff like that. You always going to have that. You're not going to have basic equal stuff.
Right.
But at the same time, y'all are one at the end of the day now.
Yeah.
This ain't, I'm going to tell you, having this separate accounts, y'all going to hit a head.
Yeah.
Y'all going to hit some kind of wall.
That's
you know?
right.
Yeah.
If you don't believe it, you can write down a comment right there. But I'm trying to tell you, your money should be put together. You got to look at your family as a business now. You trying to build this empire.
That's right.
And it ain't about just spending, or doing crazy stuff with your money, or trying to figure out how we gonna do our careers too. That's part of the talking about.
Yeah.
Where are your goals?
Yeah.
We don't talk about goals. We just say, I work at so and so, and then just keep going. Like, I'm gonna tell you, women are since they are made helpers, they gonna answer you these questions. And some people look at it nagging. No, they naturally want to help. I'm gonna tell you, if they are qualified to help, they even better than us or equal as us. It don't mean that y'all are not, inferior or anything like that. But it's a helpmate.
Right.
That's why y'all answer questions.
Yeah.
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 And then that ties into raising kids too, because what if you decide, we're going to have a kid, but the one parent wants to be a stay-at-home parent? Then what happens?
Yeah, that's part
Right.
of the curriculum. You need to talk about these
Yeah.
things.
Exactly.
But the career thing, I think there are people, especially I think these days in the United States, where career is looked at as such an individual thing.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be a this, and my
Yes.
dream is to be a this and that, or
Right.
whatever. But when you get married, though, what you have to keep in mind is that whatever you're doing in your life is
Affects.
affecting your spouse
Yeah.
and your children.
Preach it, woman.
And
Preach
what
it.
happens if somebody wants to have a career change?
Yeah.
You can't just have a career
Right.
change.
We got to move to India.
Right.
It don't work that way.
It's like you have to have a conversation about
Yes.
that. Well, I was a banker and I thought I loved banking and I hate banking and I want to go sell snow cones.
Right.
Well, great for you, but
I wanna
how
quit
are we
my
going
job.
to pay the bills? What if it means you have to go back to school? How are you going to handle that?
School, yes. You need to talk about all those things, especially school.
Yeah.
I've seen people break up,
Yeah.
divorce because the other person want to go back to school.
Wants to go
then-
back to school.
Yeah, then they're like, you ain't worried about my hopes and dreams,
It's such a shame when that
Yeah.
happens. It's just have a conversation. Just have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Save yourselves the trouble.
And then you brought up, how you feel about prenups
Yeah.
Prenups.
in a Christian marriage?
So, I Christian or no, I mean, my feeling on prenups is across the
feel that.
board,
I feel
to
that.
be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I feel very, very strongly against prenuptial agreements. And I have so many friends, and this has actually become a hot topic. I was telling you guys this, I've had 3 or 4 different conversations with people online and actual people I know about prenups, and even Christian people talking about prenups and thinking this is something that you should be doing. Oh my goodness gracious. A prenuptial agreement is all about the plan for when we're not together anymore. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Literally, that's what it is.
Right. It's like leaving wiggle room for the potential of divorce when that's not what marriage is supposed to be about.
Right, exactly. And so I think that, my initial reaction has always been, I'm not going to plan to fail. Why would I plan to fail something? I want to plan to win.
Right. Right.
So how you feel about people that marry into all this money
Yeah.
and then they,
So I
somebody
mean,
that don't have that much money.
this is the thing, and I'm sorry, people may not like me saying this, but you have to be careful about who you choose to marry. So not everybody is out there to take everything from you.
Right.
And I mean, in my personal experience, during my marriage, we purchased a house. So I mean, normal thing, you
Yeah.
know, people buy a house, right? So we bought a house. Well, when we broke up, I was like, you know, we had that conversation. Who's keeping the kids? And he's like, well, I don't know where to keep the kids. I mean, I guess the kids are going to stay here with you. Okay, the kids are staying in our house. The kids are staying here in our house. And it wasn't even like we had to have a conversation. I think I was really lucky in that way that we just did what made sense and we didn't have any arguments about it or whatever. But the fact is, to us, it was that the house was for the kids. The house wasn't for me and the house wasn't for him. The house was for our family. And so if I was so the house stayed with the kids. Now, if I was going to be moving out and he was going to be the custodial parent, that would have been me moving out.
Different.
And that would have been what that is. But that's not how we ended up doing things. And so it wasn't an issue. And then when it came time for me to sell and buy another house, it wasn't even an issue about where's my money or this or that or whatever.
Do you feel like you should have? Did you give any other money when you sold the house?
So I didn't, but that was, I guess, a little bit of a different situation because our down payment didn't come from us. We were gifted the down payment.
Gotcha.
So if we had been, and let's talk about if we had been, what if we had saved up for 5 years for this down payment? I would have given him the money back.
Okay.
I mean, it would have been no question. I would have given him the money back.
So that's why I look at it like the fairness. 'Cause,
Yes.
just because I'm rich and then I marry somebody that don't have that much money,
Yeah.
to me, signing something like that
Yeah.
is kind of putting a whole, like, I got something over your head
Yep.
the whole time.
Yep.
That means you disagree with me. If I decide to leave you, you're going to go back to the trash that I think you are.
Yeah. That I picked you up out of.
The thing is, if you decide to marry this woman, you don't think she's trash. You shouldn't.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And some of it is power. Some of it is very abusive. To me, that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
To me, if you decide to marry this person, you won, daggone, y'all equal.
Right.
You know, and then if Lord forbid something happened to us, which we do not recommend, because that is a very tough situation in our life that we had to deal with. But at that time, if you do that, and if y'all break up, it need to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's fair to me is what y'all agree upon. And if and not say, oh, you don't get this, I work all this and stuff like that. That I understand some people feel that way. But you decide to get married at the end of the day. I don't care how much money, I don't care if it was a woman that had all the money.
Yeah.
Daggone.
Yeah. That's
Divvy
right.
out.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I agree 100%. And I feel, so you hear these stories sometimes about some time ago, maybe in the 80s or the 90s, there were a number of divorces that were happening because women were working and putting their husbands through law school or medical school. And then as soon as he, his career got rolling,
Yep.
he ditched the one who
Right.
put him through school.
And then all you gotta do is split that little bit.
And yeah, and then and I really feel, I remember there being a lot of news stories about the drawn out divorce battles for spousal support and all that kind of stuff because the woman is saying, hey,
That's a whole new rabbit hole right there.
yeah, like wait a minute, I helped you get to the point
Right.
that you can make this money, and now
Right.
you're gonna say, forget you. Now you're gonna make $200,000 a year and I get none of it, but I helped you get to the
Right.
point. To be honest with you, I hate it for people too because it's just like
You become spiteful,
you become really, really spiteful.
revengeful.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And guess where the revenge comes from? Who's the vengeance? It goes to the Lord.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
right.
get to a point where you trying to, I don't know, that's a tough
That is
topic.
a tough one. But I mean, hopefully,
But guess what?
if
Right.
well, yeah, especially like if you have kids or whatever, and y'all really loved each other, that y'all can get past that and be able to support each other. So if you see one, person struggling, you can say, hey, I know that we're not together anymore, but I would love to still help you out, while you get back on your feet or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Just because y'all did have that love for each other, y'all created children out of love.
That's right.
So why not be there to help each other out?
Right. instead of all this animosity.
Exactly. Like build it together again, even though you're not together.
Yeah, it's just so. I know it's tough when people go through adultery and they like, I want to
is.
get back at that person and stuff like that, and it's a
But that's-
lot.
Yeah, or when you have physical abuse or mental
Right.
abuse going
Yeah.
on, those are other.
Like, I'm gonna pay this dude because I left him for
Right.
beating me.
Right.
You know,
Right.
'Cause she could be the
Yeah, you're right.
That's right.
Yeah,
Right.
That's,
can be
that's,
tough.
It's tough, but
can
that's
be
why
tough.
you have these conversations.
Yes.
That's exactly
And have
right.
these expectations. You know, what's the next thing?
Religion and values. Yeah, that's a huge one too.
That's my number one because
Yes.
I don't know. I know some people do it.
Yeah.
One believe and then the other one don't believe,
Yeah. Are they
or
both
one person believe two different religions and stuff.
Yep.
Which sometimes to me it works for other religions, but Christianity, which sets us apart, it would say there's only one way. So and then you have somebody that's Muslim and Christian, then you have somebody that's Buddha. You know, that's a tough thing, but that is
Right.
something you need to have a conversation about.
Right.
And then because you, if I'm part of this religion and I'm still learning, you don't know what they believe in unless you learn it.
Right.
And then your values, your principles, all these different things come into place. You know, and now, to me, if you don't even have that, I could never date or marry somebody that didn't believe what I believe, because how can I hold them accountable? They don't believe that way.
Yeah. How can you have the expectation for them to not lie or not
Right.
steal?
Or cheat on you.
Or,
Right.
or yeah.
But some
if-
religions you feel like, yeah, I can have how many kids, wives I want.
that's true.
Right. Yes.
Hey.
This
So
is
true.
Hey, this is Allison. Just let you know, marry her next week. She gonna join the fun. What in the world? You know,
That's exactly right.
it's the truth.
Yeah,
you know,
that's so
and that's something
true.
y'all need to talk about.
And even if you have two people that have the same beliefs, like two Christians, I mean, and one Christian, one person says, well, we got to go to church. And the other one's like, nah, I can just read my Bible by myself and be good.
Yep.
So that could be an issue as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's something to really
Yeah.
talk about. And then going to the same church. I know some people that
Yes.
don't go to the same church as their
Yes.
husband and wife. And
I'm amazed that people are able to make
Yeah.
that work.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
like Paul said, he don't really understand how somebody can be one. You know, how can a marriage make you one? But that's because all marriages are different. You know, that wouldn't work for me and Candace.
Right.
But what could work for you, that person could work. You know,
It could.
that's let y'all know, do not stare at Instagram. Don't stare at Facebook or how people's marriages are.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're going through. You
Right.
don't know. You don't know the work they put in to make it work, and you just don't know.
Yeah.
You don't.
You know, and then if you do know, it might work for them. Don't mean they're going to work for you.
Right.
That's absolutely correct.
Everybody's different.
That's absolutely correct.
But
But the other thing with that is the values and values, because I've had issues with, I've had issues in the past with this. Not just religion is, of course, hugely important, but what about just your values of, what if I was shopping in the store and I picked something up and I was going to buy it and somehow or another it didn't get paid for? It ended up in the cart, stuck it in my pocket, I don't know, and I leave the store.
Right.
What am I going to do about that?
Yeah.
Well, I'm the kind of person, I go back in the store and I pay for it. And I've had managers look at me like I'm crazy, like, what did you just do? So honestly,
I'm like that.
I
I'm
honestly
like
have stopped
Yeah.
doing it now because I've had too many times where the manager's like, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, so I just want you to ring me up for this. Like, wait, but did you pay? Do you have a receipt? But anyway, gets
I did that at
confusing
Buffalo
sometimes.
Wild Wings. I went out to eat, and then my Washington football team lost. This was happened a long time ago when they was called Redskins. They lost. I just got mad and left and didn't pay for none
You
of my
didn't pay for
food.
anything?
And I drove. I called them and I said, "Look, I'm on my way back." She said, "Man, we didn't realize you left." You know, so I came all the way back. And,
It's so funny.
And
Yes.
I pay for my food.
But it can be an argument if you're with somebody who believes
Yeah.
that they're going to take everything that they can get. And that's just their right
Right.
in life.
Yeah.
Because there are people who
You see
have
money
this
fall on
life
the ground.
philosophy.
Yeah. You see them.
Yeah, and I've had fights about that. Or the money falling on the ground. Somebody dropped $20 bill, and I'm like, oh, ma'am, sir,
Right.
you dropped your money.
Okay, so
and
you did
on
it.
here I got my, hey, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I want to, we gotta have dinner on that.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
And people think
but
that's
it wasn't
right.
ours, it
Right.
mine.
Right. What you're saying is true. And some people think it's minor. That is a major thing.
major.
And guess what make it real big major?
What?
When kids come along.
Yep.
Yep.
And then who
what
gonna
are we
believe in
teaching
what?
our kids? What are we teaching our kids to do? It becomes a really big issue. But they're also telling those issues that seem kind of small are really telling of bigger things that are going on inside this person and just their life view and their philosophy. And it's hard if you're not
Yeah,
on
and
the same
the values
page.
with your parents, like the in-laws.
Yeah.
My thing is that we're not joining the marriage. That's just me. We're not joining two families. I mean, when we get married, it's a separate family. That's why we cling on to our wives. We leave mom and dad.
That's
We
right.
cling to our wives.
That's right.
And it's good to have them. I ain't saying not to have them around, stuff like
you should
that.
definitely
But
have
when
them
it
around.
comes to
Can't put that in
decision making
between,
stuff like
but-
that, no, absolutely not. You know, you can get out my house. You know, and my and some people, if you don't talk about those things, some people like, oh, my parents in here, they gonna have to say so.
That is absolutely true.
Yeah.
Absolutely true. I've had friends who've had to deal with that stuff where they think that, mom, I call mom every time we have an issue. And then mom is on the phone, and then next thing you know, birthday comes up, and y'all are together. And mom's giving you the stink eye.
Right.
Like, what happened?
I truly believe just tell all the good things to your mom and your dad. You know, when I went through my divorce, I didn't even tell my mom and dad what happened.
Yeah.
I didn't tell them what happened and whatever because I didn't want my mom to look at her or look at our relationship differently.
Yeah.
You know,
I did the same thing. I didn't tell.
say we reconciled and everything.
Yeah.
I don't want to,
Yeah, that's
I didn't
right.
want that.
Right.
You know, and it's none of business.
It's not.
Right.
Truthfully,
Ain't
it's you.
none of
It's-
nobody's
You're the
business.
one who should be
Right.
deciding how this other person fits into your life moving
Yeah.
forward. Not other people should be
Right.
deciding that.
The boyfriend and girlfriends, if y'all think about getting married and stuff like that, these are some great conversations to have.
Yeah.
Because I've seen boyfriend and girlfriends talk to their friends, tell everybody what's going on. You
Yeah.
don't need everybody in your relationship.
No, that's
And when
right.
I say that, just because that person not saying something to somebody else, I mean, to them, they are talking to other people about your relationship. They are talking bad about the relationship. You have power in the way you speak about people and things you say about people's relationship. Because that's why you answer prayer and not cursing.
That's right.
You know,
That's
some
right.
people literally don't realize and curse your relationship because they know too
Yeah,
much.
they know too much. Yeah, for sure.
Shut
And
your
then a
mouth.
lot of times it's like you don't even talk to your person you're with about the problem, but all your friends know all
that
about
there
it.
was a-
Right. And then you get blindsided and you're like, what?
Right.
This was a problem?
Right. Tell people if you don't like certain things, talk
Yes,
to them.
yes.
And men, women, do not call it nagging. Don't get mad because the other person bringing something to them.
Right.
You know, be thankful they talking to you about it.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
what happens when you hold it in and then
Yeah.
it blows up.
Right.
Yep.
And you,
Yep.
then the other person be like, what in the world? I didn't know it was a problem. Me taking my shoes off when I walk. You know, who knows what it is?
It could be. And it's
anything.
sometimes, a lot of times
Yeah.
it really is something
Yeah.
stupid like
Toothpaste.
that.
Right.
Close the toothpaste up.
You'll never close the top of
Well,
a toothpaste.
Anything. But it's good to communicate.
Yes.
Communicate.
That's right.
What's the next one?
How you'll handle fights.
That is big.
That's huge.
And that's one of the things that when I do those counseling, one of the things to talk about those things. Because some people think it's okay to yell. It's okay to call names.
Yeah.
It's okay to embarrass, to have an argument in front of everyone.
Yeah.
That's
And then
right.
smile in your face and that they think it's all good.
Right.
You know, it's very hard to apologize when you feel totally disrespected. Now, it's whatever y'all arguing about don't even matter. It's what you done.
That's right.
You know, that's what we talked about. Have these conversations
Yep.
about how you're gonna argue. And just because you get married doesn't mean your argument's gonna change how. Nah, don't work like that.
No.
All right, it's gonna be the same. Probably what?
I think
Super
it's
Saiyan time
amplified.
three?
I think it's amplified.
Yes,
I would say
Another
yes.
Super Saiyan reference.
There's something about when you're arguing with somebody you're dating.
Yes.
But y'all go back to your separate spaces. You have the whole drive home to decompress and the whole thing before you have to talk to this person again. But when you're married, you
you're
are
going-
not getting away from that
Yep.
person.
Going to the same
You're going to
house.
see that person's
Yeah,
face when you
great.
get into bed, when you get up in the morning.
That boyfriend girlfriend thing different. You go home, and
Yes.
you're like, hey baby, you know, I'm sorry.
I had time to think about it. I done calmed
Yeah,
down on the
baby,
way home.
and I miss you. You know, we ain't seen each other in 2-3 days. You know, baby. I mean, no, it's over. You know, you suck. You were right there.
That's right.
And I'm trying to look, go sleep together. You get in arguments. This is from me. This is how I feel. You get in arguments, go to sleep together. Don't go. If you say, hey, even if you don't finish the argument, say, hey, let's talk about it tomorrow. Let's agree to talk about it tomorrow.
Yes.
And then that will bring down your anger because you don't want to go sleep angry.
Right.
Yeah.
Because why? That will bring a foothold. The devil will have a foothold over you. And that's when all these different thoughts are going to come in your head.
Yep.
But I'm at ease if Candace say, hey, Chester, let's just talk about this tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, and then we can get our thoughts
But you
together
gotta
and stuff like
communicate that.
Yes.
You don't want to just like
Assume.
give somebody the cold shoulder or just be like, we not talking for the rest of this day. Like communicate with that person. Like, hey, I'm still kind of upset. Let's talk about this tomorrow when I'm a little bit calmer or something like that.
Yes.
Don't just be like,
Yes. That's right.
ain't talking to him.
That's
Shoot the
right. Well,
deuces.
that's a technique you have to use anyway sometimes.
Yeah.
Even if your fight is in the morning.
Right.
You may end up having to be, if tensions or emotions are high, you may have to be like, you know what? I'm just getting too hot right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to work. Think about this. Let's talk about it after dinner tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
See,
There you go.
agreement.
Yes,
having an agreement on the argument.
Yeah.
Not saying that this one person right. No, just have agreement that, hey, we disagree.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
Yeah.
And one thing that me and Candace talked about on our, like how we argue, because we both don't like arguing, but we both strong-minded people too. Weird, right? But what we say is that we have conversations. So instead of looking at each other, I feel like it's a versus between us. So we in combat. I mean, my mode is attack, not to actually listen,
Right.
and understand. I'm listening to respond. She can say all the true things, and then she can apologize in that thing. But she say one thing wrong, that's the one I jump on.
Right.
You know, that's an everyday life. That ain't just marriage. That's just
Yeah.
arguing. Me and you arguing,
Right.
not listening to each other.
Right.
You know, but have these conversations. Sit down and talk. It's okay to sit down beside each other and look at TV while you're talking, and it's okay to turn the TV off. You know, the point is that if we don't tell each other how we expect to have disagreements and not make it a fight. I see people okay with hitting each other.
I was just going to say, my aunt and uncle, they used to throw things at each other. Like, what?
And
Right.
people think that's normal.
They were together for 20-something years, loved
Yeah.
each other, did everything for each other, and when one or the other would get hot, something's going flying across the room, and it was just, okay.
I guess they agreed upon it.
Yeah, they agree upon
That's
it.
how they want to argue.
That's
That's
how
why
they wanted
you
to
give
argue.
your expectations. That's how you fight. You know, but the problem is when one person don't feel that way.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Baby, I love when you choke me. What? I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
Hey, you
The
never
arguments
know.
is weird, but
No.
people. The thing is, you're going to disagree. You're going to have arguments. You're going to have these different things. It's all
Yeah.
about how you handle it.
Yeah.
Don't think that I have all these different issues, so I don't think I need to be with that person. No, it's your issues to make you better.
Right.
That's when you handle the issues, not just say, "Oh, let's put this aside, put this aside." Yes, it look overwhelming because you're not handling it.
Right.
Doesn't mean you need to have a divorce, people, because you have issues. That
No.
mean y'all on the right track and making things better.
There's always issues.
Yeah.
Always. All right, so this is the last one because
Yes.
this is a long
It is.
podcast,
Yes,
but it's
it
all
is.
good. We're gonna
Right.
keep rolling.
So number 5 is deal breakers and bucket lists. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Deal breakers.
Deal breakers.
What's one of your deal breakers?
Definitely smoking because that's just not attractive.
So I can't go smoke.
No, that's
No.
disgusting.
I'm allergic to it anyway. So that's what
just
our
for
conversation was. She said that. She
can't
said, "Do you
have-
smoke?" And some people don't have access to
And
it.
it's also because of allergies and stuff.
Me too.
And
I'm allergic to it.
I just don't want to be burdened with taking Zyrtec every day. I just
Yeah.
don't want to.
What's yours?
Yeah. Mine is,
Just one of them. Don't go down the whole list, Allison.
I do have a few.
I do too. She do too.
Yeah.
But one of mine is probably drugs.
Drugs,
I'm not any kind, any way, any shape, any form,
And
nothing,
I think
never.
that's
or
what I meant
or,
when I said
overusing
smoking,
alcohol.
too.
Like I don't.
Yeah.
You like getting drunk. That's gonna be a problem.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
It's gonna be a problem.
Me is rudeness. I can't.
Rudeness.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do the disrespect.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool and
Yeah.
keep rolling. You know,
Yep.
disrespect is one of mine. I can't do it. Won't do it. Puff
Yeah.
Daddy style.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But everybody has one, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has a few.
Yeah.
And they're just like, there's no
Yeah.
way.
And guess what, guys? Guess what, people? It's okay to talk about it. When you're boyfriend, girlfriend, when you start dating each other and stuff like that, before this thing get heavy,
Yeah.
Yep.
you might want to talk about these deal breakers.
Right.
You know why?
Yep.
Because you're going to be dealing with them. Because
Yep.
you're like, oh, I'm already in love with them. So
Yeah.
it's okay to say, hey, that's one of my deal breakers.
I got a little
Deuces.
story. I got a little story on that. So one of my my ex and I, we met in a nightclub. This is in my BC, my before Christ time. We met in a nightclub. And I was out there with my sister. We were out there partying, and so I had a drink in one hand
Yeah.
and a cigarette in the other hand.
Yeah.
And this guy approaches me, and we ended up hitting it off and talking pretty much the rest of the night. And then we started seeing each other. Never did
Wow.
he say anything about either. Once we got together, smoking and drinking was a problem. And I was like,
What? But you
what?
met me with
You
That is a-
literally
Right.
met me.
Right. That is hitting you with a boom.
right.
That is crazy.
Like, you can't.
But it happens.
It
Yeah,
happens.
it
It,
does.
happened to me.
It
It,
does.
happens.
Like, oh, I can deal with it. Then later on, you know you can't
Yeah.
deal with
Right.
it.
And I was like, why didn't you
how
say
unfair.
something? Why
Right.
would you even approach? Like, why? I don't understand why. He's like, well, I just thought it would be something you were just doing because we were out, or something you would have just stopped doing after
just
you got
recreational.
together with somebody. And I was like,
Right.
but we didn't have a conversation. If we had a
Right.
conversation, I could have said, no, this is part of my lifestyle. This is what I
And
do.
it's so unfair to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the thing is that give me an option
At
to
least
say,
give me the option, right? Instead of like never any conflict.
Right.
like, give me an option because I'm not gonna change. So let's just go ahead and cut this thing short. Hey, look, man.
Would have saved us a whole lot of
Right,
time.
it's 2021, guys. We gotta be truthful.
Yeah. Be honest.
Just be honest,
And then
man.
some people go through these toxic relationships. Most of the
Yes.
toxic stuff is coming from you because it's stuff that you can't deal with. But
Yeah.
you always accept it. And that's what we do in life.
That's right.
Yep.
We do stuff in our lives that we know that's not right. We know that we cannot stand,
Yep.
but we continue to do it.
Yes.
We have toxic life.
Yes.
It's crazy.
It is
It is.
crazy.
But I want everybody to think about those things. Think about talking about having these conversations. It's way more stuff to talk about.
Oh
but
yeah.
whatever's important to you, look at that person now that you think that you're going to marry. Have these conversations. It's okay to talk about them. And
Yeah.
it's okay. I'm going to be honest with you. I hate to be all mean and stuff. It's okay to say goodbye.
It's totally okay to say
I ain't
goodbye.
talking about when you're married. I'm talking about
Yeah.
like
In the
you-
dating.
In the dating.
Before you've gotten down the aisle.
Engage.
Yeah,
Even
before you've gone down the
engaged.
aisle.
Right.
Yeah, even if you're engaged and you find something out.
And don't feel bad. I know some people that got engaged and broke it off.
Yeah.
Don't. I know a bunch of people. But don't be embarrassed. That is probably the best thing that ever happened to you.
Exactly.
That's right.
You know? So don't let nobody pressure you or push you, mom, dad. Ooh, get married, have
Yeah.
kids.
We spent
Right.
$30,000 already. Listen,
No.
if it's
Right.
not going to be right, it's not going to be
Don't
right.
do it.
Exactly.
Have these conversations. Know what you can deal with. You know? This was a great conversation.
It was.
Yeah, we
Good
could
stuff.
have got deeper. You know, maybe we had some more people on each topic. We
Yeah.
talk about, that sounds
And we
good.
got other topics we can go through. This is just top 5
Right.
on this one
Right.
particular list.
And if you have some stuff, comment below, so we can have some more stuff to talk about. Or you disagree with some of the stuff we said, it's okay. But
Yeah.
be very nice about
Respectful.
it.
Yeah, be respectful. Don't be rude.
Right. You know, because not everybody going to agree. You know.
Right.
That's
But
right.
thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for blessing that like button. Thank you for sharing that like button. Like button, blessing that share button, and subscribing. Thank you for all that stuff. And check out Little Coffee and a Whole Lot of Jesus podcast. Also, this under the Central podcast under Central Triad Church, and check those things out. And once again, this is Reasons to Talk, presented by Reasons to Win
Yes.
and Central Triad Church, with my lovely, lovely producer Allison and my wonderful, perfect wife Candace, and my big homie cameraman Shy Eli. But thank y'all, and leave comments or any kind of subjects that y'all think y'all want to do or hear. Have a great day.
All right.
Bye.
Can we just talk?